DeForest Kelley's favorite Star Trek episode was so disturbing, it was banned for 26 years. When Star Trek, the original series, debuted in the 1960s, it pushed television boundaries in ways that few shows dared. Between exploring Cold War anxieties through science fiction and tackling moral and social issues through alien metaphors, Star Trek was never afraid to disturb its audience. But one episode went too far, even for its time. Ironically, it became actor DeForest Kelley's favorite. The man who played the ever-skeptical Dr. Leonard Bones, McCoy, was particularly fond of a story so dark and unsettling that the BBC banned it for over 2 decades. The episode was Mary, one of the most haunting and psychologically intense episodes of Star Trek, the original series. A world frozen in horror. Mary, Season 1, Episode 8 begins innocently enough. The USS Enterprise discovers an Earth-like planet and beams down a landing party, Captain Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and others, to investigate. What they find is both familiar and horrifying. The planet's surface is nearly identical to 1960s Earth, but eerily abandoned, with signs of chaos and decay everywhere. Soon, the crew encounters a group of children who have survived a devastating biological catastrophe. It turns out the planet's scientists once tried to create a formula for eternal youth. Instead, their experiment wiped out the adult population, leaving only children, the onlys, who age incredibly slowly. However, as these children approach puberty, the disease mutates, disfiguring them and driving them into violent madness before killing them. It's a terrifying allegory. Humanity's pursuit of immortality ends in its own destruction, leaving a generation of feral children to inherit a doomed world. Why DeForest Kelley loved Mary. DeForest Kelley reportedly had a deep fondness for Mary because it showcased the human side of McCoy under extreme moral pressure. The episode wasn't just another monster of the week adventure. It was a story about disease, fear, and human fragility. As the Enterprise crew becomes infected with the same virus, McCoy races against time to create a cure. For Kelley, Mary was the kind of science fiction he loved: intelligent, tragic, and uncomfortably real. McCoy's determination to save both the children and his crewmates pushed him to the brink. He defies Spock's cold logic, risks his own life to test the vaccine, and ultimately demonstrates the courage and compassion that made Dr. McCoy one of Star Trek's most human heroes. Kelley once said in interviews that the episode's moral weight, its reminder of how easily humanity could destroy itself through arrogance, resonated deeply with him. The story blurred the line between medical ethics, survival, and compassion, making it one of his most memorable performances. Too disturbing for television. Despite Kelley's affection for the episode, not everyone shared his enthusiasm. The BBC banned Mary in 1970 and refused to air it again until 1996, a full 26 years later. The reason? The network deemed the episode too disturbing and unsuitable for children. It's easy to see why. Mary isn't violent in a traditional sense, but it's psychologically unnerving. The sight of half-feral, diseased children attacking adults, coupled with the slow deterioration of the Enterprise crew, made for deeply unsettling viewing. The underlying themes, a plague born from humanity's obsession with perfection, hit uncomfortably close to home during a time of real-world fears about nuclear fallout, pandemics, and medical ethics. The BBC grouped Mary with 3 other banned Star Trek episodes: Plato's Stepchildren, The Empath, and Whom Gods Destroy, all of which contain themes of torture, insanity, or psychological distress. But Mary stood out because it blended those themes with innocence corrupted, a concept British censors found especially objectionable. When the episode finally aired again in the UK in the 1990s, it shocked a new generation of fans with its maturity and darkness, a disturbing reflection of the 1960s. At its core, Mary reflected the anxieties of the 1960s, fears of scientific overreach, disease, and social decay. The idea of children turning into monsters before dying painfully echoed both the nuclear generation's fear of genetic mutation and the lingering guilt of post-war scientific experimentation. McCoy's desperate struggle to find a cure served as a stand-in for humanity's race to save itself from its own creations. His compassion for the children, especially the title character Mary played by Kim Darby, gave the story an emotional weight that transcended sci-fi tropes. Their relationship, tender, tragic, and ultimately doomed, reminded viewers that progress without morality leads only to ruin. McCoy's finest hour. Kelley's performance in Mary captures everything that made Dr. McCoy beloved. He's irritable, passionate, sarcastic, and